Hey, Tony Gaston here, popping in for another episode of Talks with Tony. Now, what I'm gonna try to do to get through these letters a little quicker is do 30-minute videos. But I'm gonna try to put up multiple videos a day. So for those of you who you done got used to an hour, you could just you're 30 in one, 30 in another. And for the short ones, that's not really a real deep question with a lot of details, and it's just a general answer, then we'll get through multiple in one video. And I say that out there, just trying to put that out there. Hi, Tony. I'm 22, currently studying to get my bachelor's degree. This is the first year where I have completely worked on myself and my relationship with God. In other words, this is the first year in a while where I haven't been dating or entertaining grown boys. I am part of the V Club. I met this guy who's 24, soon to be 25 this year. We've been going out on dates for a month or so. He only texts me. I know you tell us to talk on the phone with these men, but I'm not much of a caller. I noticed that he kept taking time to respond to my messages. He would sometimes take 4 hours, and he goes to sleep early because he has to wake up early to go to work. So we don't communicate as much as I would want to. He's a great conversationalist, and he really seems to care about me. I confronted him 4 days ago about not texting me back fast enough. His answer was that he couldn't always text me because sometimes he's busy. I heard you mention that a man that is interested in you will always make time for you. So I cut him off, and he hasn't even reached out. Was I wrong for that? Thank you. Oh, she put a picture on here. No, you were not wrong. You weren't wrong for it, and you did the right thing. Most likely, this guy sounds like he got a girlfriend. Sounds like he has a girlfriend that he lives with or always around, and he kind of want to have his cake and eat it too, because he felt like that you look, good enough to him that he couldn't let you slip away. So he kind of get you, put you on the reserve, put you on the bench until his star player get injured or retire or get ready to get traded, and then bring you off the bench, give you a pay raise, then make you a starter. That's essentially what this guy right here was doing. And again, it's no compromising when it comes down to if a man give you time or not. If a man ain't giving you time, go on about your business. Because a man who wants you is going to make you feel wanted. Almost too wanted. All right, that was a simple one. That not too much in that. That's just a little that question, is one that's a little too long for the live Q&As, but a little too short for the full Talks with Tony. So the title probably be based on the question that got the most answer to it. Good evening, Mr. Gaskins. As an only child who was raised in a middle-class, two-parent home, statistics say I should not be in the predicament I find myself in today as a single mom. But here I am. In college, my relationship with my father was somewhat estranged. So I ended up dating a local who smoked, drank, and wore earrings, had tattoos, etc. We actually met through a young lady I thought was my friend at the time, and also happens to be someone my mother considers a daughter to this day. My relationship with this guy lasted 2 years. He is the first and only person I have ever gotten on my back for, dated, or even kissed. My low self-esteem allowed me to stay in a situationship for another 6 years after we broke up. During this time, I let him live with me off and on for free, drive my car, borrow money. Of course, he stayed not having a job, and in return, he gave me infections, probably STDs, controlled me, and did countless childish things like put his manhood on my shoulder, screamed when I was sound asleep to startle me, and gave me wet willies. Unfortunately, by the time I found the strength to kick him out, surprise, I was 5 weeks pregnant. So I spent the next 9 years sniffing his booty, trying to make him out to be the father of the year. During this time, I find out he is in an entanglement with the so-called friend who introduced us. It sends me over the deep end into a 3-month depression where I have ideation. it hurt me the most because my mother worships the ground this friend walks on while she stabbed me in the back. Thankfully, I went to therapy, strengthened my relationship with the Lord, found you on YouTube, purchased A Woman's Influence, and have blocked this fool. Praise God. With that said, I still have a lot of emotional baggage and find myself thinking of him. The one upside is I haven't slept with him or anyone in over 10 years, but it also shows how strong of a soul tie I have. Am I a lost cause? I truly appreciate your time and wisdom. God bless you now. God bless you. Now, for those of y'all who wonder why I skirt over certain words, it's because we on somebody network. And what this network is, one of the largest ad networks in the world. So every company goes to this network that we own to run their promotions, to do advertisements. So if your stuff is not advertiser friendly, then they have no reason to push and share and promote. And so for me, contrary to popular belief, I would get a whole lot more views and a whole lot more exposure if I wasn't doing these letters. If I wasn't reading stuff that's so deep and so, then I would be reaching a whole lot if I was watered down. But because I'm answering y'all questions, we have some stuff in there that a lot of people don't want to, a lot of companies don't necessarily want to be aligned with, like what she talking about on here. So what we finna have Abreva commercials and whatever other the commercials that be coming on the TV, and so it's like they might not be running ads right now because they doing theirs on TV. So y'all got to understand that too, that although this for your pleasure and entertainment, it's also still a marketplace and a business for the company who own this here system that we own. So y'all got to understand that. Now, sister, this right here, it's less about you and more about the parenting. You literally became a product of your environment. Like you say, you and your father, y'all relationship was estranged, and so you really didn't have that male guidance, and you didn't have that male instruction, nor did you have female instruction. Your mama could have still prepared you. Just because your dad ain't there don't mean your mama can't tell you what a grown boy look like. And then your quote-unquote friend has a seducing spirit, and she probably don't have the world's greatest relationship with her mama, and that's why she came in and seduced your mama and made your mama think that she would have been the perfect and amazing daughter. But really, your friend is a two-faced, backstabbing person who seduce your mama to make your mama like her more than she like you, and then introduce you into the man that she secretly liked but was too afraid to tell him he liked her. So she put you on her to be his, little play to use you up and do all this dirt to you. And then after he done ran through you and used you up, then she jump in there thinking he finna treat her like a prize, cause she dumb as a box of rocks. And so what you have to realize is some people just gonna play that role, and they're gonna be dumb as a box of rocks, and they're gonna be okay with it. And so what you have to understand is that all of this right here is just a million lessons. It's just a million lessons. You can't get caught up on this, and you can't sit still. Like, you can't stay down, and you can't stop doing the work. Don't think just because you did some counseling, a therapy or what have you, that you done. No, it's continual work. Get on my mentor.life, hire you a coach, get you a coach. If you say, look, I can afford $25 a week, talk to that coach 12 weeks in a row. The way you just wearing that conversation out. You talking about that thing so much that by the end of your coaching run, if that's 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, that you got so much clarity, you got so much peace because you done talked about it through every single angle. And then you'll have peace in your spirit. The reason why you still have a lot of emotional baggage, as you say, is because you haven't truly worked through it. You haven't fully done the work. So you did a little bit of work. You did a little something, but it just got you over the hump. It just got you, but it ain't got you all the way into the clear. So you got to keep doing the work, and you got to take the lesson. You got to recognize people for who they are, him, your quote unquote friend, your mama, and you got to put them in their respective places. And some of them you got to cut off, some of them you got to get distance, and some of them that you got to check them and have a heart to heart and see if you could build. But that's the work you're going to have to do. And so understand this right here. Like the quote says, it's not a loss if you got a lesson from it. It's not a loss if you learn something. So you got to sit down and make sure that you actually learn something from this. All right, we moving right along now. Hey, Tony, I've been really going through it. So back in high school, I had a boyfriend for about 2 years going into my first year of college. That was extremely honest. He would mess with my friends. He cheated multiple times. He would message girls while I was asleep or at work. And the last straw for me was when he actually messed with a close friend. I was that, you know what, that last letter, I just forgot. On that last letter, this right here, that last letter, I said, you know what, that thing bothered you so bad because that's who you gave your V to. You gave your V to. And this not only your V, but this the first person you dated or kissed. You were naive. And then 6 more years after y'all broke up, you was in a situationship. And then the man will come live off for you, drive your car, borrow money. Of course, he stayed not having a job, and in return gave you infections, controlled you, and did countless childish things like put his manhood on my shoulder, screamed when I was sound asleep to startle me, and gave me wet willies. Oh my goodness. And now that right there, little description, is the most childish man I have ever read about. I have never on one of these letters read about a man that childish. Do you hear me? And this young lady ain't got no picture, so I don't know what nationality or race or demographic or state or where she at. Don't say the age, but you know, I could kind of guesstimate the age. Lasted 2 years with the relationship, then another 6 years of situationship. My goodness. But you know what the lesson here is though? For every parent, raise your son not to be like this. Teach your son how to treat and interact with a woman, and teach your daughter what to look out for and what to watch for in a man. Because this right here is absolutely a shame. And then right when you get ready to leave, you find that you 5 weeks. Now, the question is to ladies, is when you conceive, how soon does your hormones and emotions start to change? I've heard some people say that they knew right when they conceived that they had conceived. Like they knew like the next day or whatever. So I've heard some people say that. I don't know if they're just superstition or just what they saying. Cause a lot of times I hear women say they broke up with a man and then found out the next day that they pregnant. So I'm always curious, is that just happenstance, or was it something in your hormones, in your hormonal balance or imbalance, that shifted you to a space to where you all of a sudden fed up? Because I always wonder why so many times I read from a woman that as soon as she break up with the man, she find out she pregnant. So it's like, is it the chemical change in the body as it starts to change to start sending, more flow to that area to nurture and build up, what's inside of you? If that has something to do with the emotions and the brain that make you a little more intolerant, because it just always strange to me when I read that. So that's a question for y'all ladies, if y'all know the answer to that, because I'm not a woman, so I don't know. Or is it just happenstance? Is it just that I've seen so many letters that's why I've seen so many women say, as soon as we broke up, I found out I was pregnant. And so I'm always curious about that. Next letter. Hey, Tony, I've been really going through it. So back in, where we at, 15 minutes? Oh, yeah. See, we getting through these like a normal little Q&A, live Q&A. Hey, Tony, I've been really going through it. So back in high school, I had a boyfriend for about 2 years going into my first year of college. That was extremely, he would mess with my friends. He cheated multiple times. He would message girls while I was asleep or at work, and the last straw for me was when he actually messed with a close friend. I was devastated because every time we would break up, he would try to sweet talk me, and it would work every time. So I was used to him getting me back because in my head I felt like I must have been better than all these other girls because I have so much going for myself. It finally ended in 2016, and a year after I got with my man now that is also my husband, and a year after I got with my man now that is also my husband. He is not perfect, but he is faithful to me, takes care of me, and is the best partner I have ever had. Recently, my ex tried to add me on Snapchat, and I know I should have blocked him, but I let him view my stories. He ended up unfriending me, and I don't know why it upset me because I feel like I should have been the one to remove him. Now I feel like I did before, and I can't stop thinking about him. I want him to see I'm doing good, but I don't know if he really does regret what he did or if he's just lonely and horny. By the way, we haven't talked in about 4 years, so why is he still trying to add me? How can I get over this? Please answer this. I really need help. Thank you. Look at it with a good eye. Okay, going to college. All right, let me see with a good eye. All right. Based on what I see in this here picture and your last name, you look like Hispanic. Nah, listen. Y'all Hispanic ladies, you know, I get a lot of little insight from Hispanic women that be cheating. Now, what y'all got going on over there? Okay, this right here look like Mexico here. Now some Mexicans say they not Hispanic, and then some Mexicans have told me they is Hispanic. So I'm guessing it's a term out there, and some people know the term and some people don't know the term, even though they may fall under the term or not. And the reason why I say that, why I pointed that out, is sometimes people think because I'm black, everybody who write me is a black woman. So when it's of a different race, because the majority is black, I let y'all know that these issues and this stuff isn't just exclusive to black women. Like, black women ain't the only ones that's going through that. It's other races that's going through stuff too. So that's why I mentioned that. Hispanic, relating to Spain or Spanish speaking countries, especially those of Latin America. A Spanish speaking person living in the US, especially one of Latin American descent. Okay, Hispanic and Latino Americans are Americans of Spanish or Latin American ancestry. More generally, those demographics include all Americans who identify as Hispanic or Latino. As of 2018, the Census Bureau estimated that there were almost 60 million Hispanics living in the United States. OMB defines, I don't know what OMB is. Come on, can y'all put that out there? defines Hispanic or Latino as a person of Cuban, Mexican, Puerto Rican, South or Central American, or of Spanish culture or origin, regardless of race. Okay, that's from census.gov. Say that now. So that right there kind of clear that up, that the U.S. Office of Management and Budget requires federal agencies to use a minimum of 2 ethnicities in collecting and reporting data, Hispanic or Latino, and not Hispanic or Latino. OMB, the Office of Management and Budget, defines Hispanic or Latino as a person of Cuban, Mexican, Puerto Rican, South or Central American, or other Spanish culture or regions, regardless of race. Now, that's what these people say on the United Census.gov. Now, I just want to, I'm sorry for Googling, but I've seen Mexican people tell me they not Hispanic. And then I've had Mexican clients who say we are Hispanic. And I'm like, now, which one is it now? Just like some Black Americans say they are not African American. I remember my cousin used to say that all. I ain't African American. I ain't from no Africa. I'm from America. I was born in America. I ain't no African American. I'm a Black American. I'm like, really, bro? Like, listen, your genetics come from Africa. Okay, your people come from Africa. So that's what that means, African American. All right. So just semantics. It's just semantics. Y'all Google the word semantics. What did that mean? Relating to meaning in language or logic. Okay. Just people arguing. Semantics. The branch of linguistics and logic concerned with meaning. There are a number of branches and sub-branches of semantics, including formal semantics, which studies the logical aspects of meaning, such as sense, reference, implication, and logical form. Lexical semantics, which studies word meanings and word relations. And conceptual semantics, which studies the cognitive structure of meaning. Y'all see what I'm saying? This more than just old life coach chat. We learning on here. You got to learn. So when I say people arguing semantics, that's what I'm talking about. It's based on their linguistics and logic, okay? And it means the meaning of a word, phrase, sentence, or text. Such quibbling over semantics may seem petty stuff. That's how they use it in the sentence. Such quibbling over semantics may seem petty stuff. So the point of this is we got to stop arguing semantics. So now, sister, the reason why this right here throw me off is because, see, one thing about serving people is I read this from a woman. I'm reading this from a woman, and it let me know you are a woman. And it also reminds me that my wife is a woman. So when I read this here, I'm thinking, is my wife ex-boyfriend add her on Snapchat? Do I need to go check that phone? Cause let me see. And now I'm thinking, have I noticed a mood swing at all over the years? Been an ex-boyfriend popped up and disappeared. So here's the lesson. She done already made her mistake. Here's the lesson to everybody out there, male and female. When your ex pop up, cut all ties. That's why I tell y'all, block your ex. Block your ex. Your ex should not be able to find you, should not be able to message you, should not be able to write you, should not be able to watch you. So here you is. You leave this ex. You and this ex is done. And then you don't heal. You never get over him. You feel inadequate. He makes you feel less than. He makes you feel insufficient. He makes you feel inadequate. So a part of you is seeking approval from him. You never give yourself closure. You never affirm yourself and tell yourself that you are worthy, that you are worth more than he was willing to give you, that you are a better person than him, that he does not deserve you, that you're on a whole nother level, and that he is a scumbag because he's tried to mess with your close friend. And so you never affirm yourself, you just move on and you don't heal before you deal. So now when you get with your husband, who is your now husband, who is a great guy who doing you right, probably sound like he under your foot, but you sound like he the nice guy, but you still got a thing for the bad boy. So now the bad boy pop up, add you on Snapchat. Instead of you being a classy and respectable and responsible wife and blocking all channel to your exes, you entertain the channel. You allow him to watch you. You allow him to stimulate you, stimulate your mind, stimulate your curiosity. So he gets back in. He's watching your stories to send you a message to say, I'm watching you. He sees that you actually are portraying a life that looks like you're doing good, which is what you wanted him to see. But you thought that him seeing that will make him write you and say, I regret taking you for granted. You were the one I let get away. Thank God he did not do that. Because had he did that, you would have cheated on your husband. You telling yourself oh no, it's not no, but you playing with fire and you willing to play with fire. And that's why instead of him disrupting what looks like a happy life, which you probably was putting on extra sauce for him, because you said in here, I want him to see me. And you said, and I know I should have blocked him, but I let him view my stories. So you knew what you should have did, and you did the opposite. See, this is what we got to stop doing as adults. We got to stop doing the opposite of what we know we supposed to be doing. So you knew you should have blocked him, but you did the opposite. He ended up unfriending me, and I don't know why it upset me, because I feel like I should have been the one to remove him. It upset you because he triggered that feeling of inadequacy that he planted in you several years ago. So he uprooted that and he brought it back to the surface, and now you got to look at it and confront it and face it and look at the fact that he has always made you feel less than and unworthy of his love and attention. And now, even though you have a man who is loving and attentive, that's not good enough, because the human nature in you and the insecurity in you is seeking the praise and approval of someone who does not want you. So you take the love and attention that you're getting for granted, and you seek the approval from him who won't give you his approval, because you have put your self-worth in the hands of other people, and you are allowing this man to determine how much you're worth, instead of looking at and knowing and setting your own value on yourself. You are receiving your value from the actions of men. And that's where so many people go wrong, male and female. And so what you have to realize, y'all ain't talked in 4 years. He came back because when a man has a downtime, or a man is going through something in a situationship or a relationship, we go to the black book. And that's why I call it the black book syndrome. Is we go to the black book and we want to look back over our past. We want to look back at our exes to see our exes. And we want to go and search and look for our exes to see what our exes have going on. And we want to see how good they doing. And I thank God that I was never in a position to be able to find my ex. And I'm praying and hoping my wife ex ain't found her or tried to find her, or she ain't found them. Now, I ain't heard nothing about it. But see, this is the kind of stuff right here. This is a lesson now. Because this is the kind of stuff right here that happens in marriages. And stuff start to unravel. and then we end up in court hollering about irreconcilable differences. No, it was your hot booty dealing with your ex fleeing feelings. And this the kind of stuff be happening and we don't even realize it, because as humans, we be trying to be sneaky. Now see, this is the thing where I tell y'all I have to compartmentalize. That's why sometimes I read 2 letters twice on accident, because I can't carry this with me. So what I have to do with this is everything is in the mind, and everybody watching this, what we have to do with this is we can't go and take this woman letter and go questioning our spouse on if their ex has tried to reach out to them, and put our spouse in a place to where they have to lie, or put our spouse in a place to where they telling the truth but we don't believe them because of what happened with this situation here. We got to compartmentalize and be able to hear, okay, that's you and yours. All right, okay. And now if you see something pop up and now you scratch a lie, find a thief, like the lady say, then you do a little digging and something is kind of off center. And you like, oh, what's going on here now? So sister, listen, you need to repent in your heart. And you need to write yourself a love letter. You need to write yourself a letter of affirmation to tell yourself and speak life into yourself, to hear who you are and what you bring to the table and how special you are. And you need to write a love letter to yourself so that you can read that every single day until it sinks in and you believe it. And when you believe that, then you could fully and wholly move on with your life and be 100% faithful in mind, body, and spirit to your husband. Because right now you're cheating on him mentally and emotionally by worrying about your ex and what your ex got going on. So you say, how can I get over this? That's how you get over it. What I just said. Rewind this again. Rewind about a minute or two and listen to that again and apply that to your life. Hey, this is Tony Gas, and God bless you. This old good 30 minutes, so we going to ride on out. God bless you. We'll talk soon.